It was a thrilling and at times controversial start to the season at Brands Hatch. Now what lies in store at Donington Park? Round 4 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. Tim Harvey and Toby Moody are your commentators.
Thank you, Steve. Well, Tim, he summed it up, didn't he? A controversial start, but it was an exciting start. For the fans, we had 3 different drivers winning 3 different races at Brands Hatch in 3 different types of car. The question is, can the now championship leader Jason Plato win here at this first race, or will it be a new winner this year, Gordon Shedden?
Well, this first race should be very interesting. You've got Plato on the front of the grid with maximum ballast. You've got Shedden next door to him with no ballast at all. So he's the only car in the top 5 on the grid without any weight on. So should be a fascinating battle at the front.
Qualifying yesterday, so close. After a minute and 10 seconds, there was just 0.05 of a second between them. Therefore, Plato will start from the pole position ahead of Gordon Shedden. The MG ahead of the Honda. Matt Neal, reigning champion, he heads row 2 ahead of Andrew Jordan. It's his local racetrack here at Donington. Rob Collard, winner at Brands Hatch, ahead of Matt Jackson. They make up the 3rd row. Row 4, the pole position man from Brands Hatch, Dave Newsom, ahead of Rob Austin, Jeff Smith, Aaron Smith, Frank Rathall ahead of Tom Onslow Cole, who really did suffer with that rain shower in qualifying yesterday. Dan Welch ahead of Nick Foster, Chris James and Liam Griffin, Lee Wood, Tony Gillam. Gillam had an off in free practice, but his Honda is okay. Ollie Jackson in the Golf ahead of Adam Morgan's Toyota, Tony Hughes and Andy Neat at the rear of the field, teammate to Jason Plato. We've got MGs topping and tailing the grid. Plato was quickest, but Neat had a differential problem in qualifying yesterday. Now then, we have a chance to speak to the man on the front row, Gordon Shedden. Gordon, it's Toby up in the commentary box. Gordon, you had some electrical problems at Brands Hatch. Have you got rid of them today?
Yeah, I hope so. Obviously, the car ran pretty well yesterday in qualifying. Let's see what race 1 brings. I'll give it everything, that's for sure.
Okay, well, you're just coming up to the start line. We'll leave you be. Have a great race. Now then, Jason Plato comes to the grid here at Donington Park for this 4th round of this year's British Touring Car Championship. He's leading the title chase by 4 points. He's had a victory already. He built throughout the last race at Brands Hatch, not quite on the podium, then a 3rd position, 2nd position, and then he came up with the victory. The question is, without testing Tim and an additional 45 kilos, can he stay ahead of Shedden with no weight?
Well, it'll be fascinating to see, because obviously we didn't have a full qualifying session in the dry. We don't know who could have done what later in the session, but certainly Shedden ought to be the one that should be able to win this race. Here comes Andy Neat at the back of the field. As you say, MG's front and back. He had terrible transmission problems throughout qualifying. In fact, X-Track were here till 9 o'clock last night rebuilding his gearbox.
So we've got the brand new NGTC cars, 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th on the grid. Rob Collard, watch him on the 3rd row. He's on the left-hand side of your screen. He's got a plan. That's what he told Louise when he was down there on the grid. But look at Jason Plato. We're looking forward. We're looking forward from Andy Jordan's car. He was a winner here last year. The red lights are about to go out here at Donington Park. They're holding them a long time. Not a good start for Matt Neal. Oh, he's digging holes for himself. He's got too much wheel spin. Jason Plato leads. And look at Collard. He's going to lead from the 3rd row. He hits the front. Nothing like rear-wheel drive to get it off the line.
That was absolutely fantastic. He absolutely... Oh, Jordan sideways. A little bit of contact, I think, with Newsham. There's one of the Redstone cars off.
Lee Wood's gone off as well. And that is that Jackson who's gone off as well?
That's Griffin. And I think he was run into at the back.
And we've got all sorts of debris on the outside of Redgate. That's some of Lee Wood's car. Meanwhile, at the front, it's still Matt Neal. It's Collard, who's leading. Collard, who's got the advantage. Plato's under big pressure now. Plato in 2nd place. He's got to get some heat into those rears. but it's the heat that's definitely into the rears of Collard.
Yeah, Collard and Matt Jackson, the big winners. They've jumped the two Yuasa Racing Hondas and also Jordan. So Matt Jackson on an absolute tear here. He's looking down the inside of Plato.
Plato's weaving to the inside, but he's not going to have a speedy exit out of the chicane here as we come around to complete the first lap. Plato, lot of work to do with the brand new MG. Not as much work as the reigning champion, Matt Neal. That start was not good at all. Plato's looking in his mirror. He's got a massive mirror like a London taxi, and he's full of Ford Focus, and soon it's going to be full of Honda.
Yeah, meanwhile, Rob Collard is making hay while the sun shines and really pushing on. Remember, he won at Brands Hatch and reduced his team owner Dick Bennett to tears. So can he do it again? The first race here at Donington. Plato seems to be struggling down through the grade, so we've got more cars off. That's Adam Morgan, and it looks like Andy Neat in the other MG.
They're going grass tracking. They pick up the thing. And we got a change of second position. Jackson up on the inside, but Plato's not going to give way. He's hard on the brakes. He said it was so skittish on the brakes. Oh, on the grass again goes Jackson. He's looking, weaving one way then the other, and the Hondas are just laughing their heads off behind this battle.
It's really close. This is on board with Shedden, who's behind Jackson. He's got Matt Neal behind him. This is the battle for fourth place.
We're in fourth position as we come down the back section at the moment. We're about to complete the second lap. Look at Collard, he's already turning into the left-hander before we in fourth position even turn into the right-hander in this 16-lap Grand Prix, the first race, the first of I've done it already, Tim.
Had to happen, didn't it? Well, it could be a Grand Prix. It's a Grand Prix of touring cars, let's call it that. Jackson trying to get a cut back on the exit of Redgate, trying to just push Plato a little bit wide. I have to say he's been very patient with Plato. I'm not so sure Plato will be quite so patient with him. There's been no contact so far. They've been side by side. That's Griffin's car in. Looks like he had that first lap contact in the side door there.
That was at Redgate on lap one. You saw the dust being kicked up by Rob Collard there. He's on it and then some. He had a lead over the line of 1.4 seconds. It looks to me as if that lead has come down. Such is the pace of Plato as they come out of McLean. Collard leads, winner already this year. Plato in second, winner already this year. Jackson then in third position. Now there is Tom Onslow Cole. Got to give him a big shout. Tom started from 12th position and he's already up into 6th place with the sister BMW to the one that's leading. Onslow Cole at the back of this little pack. He's got Newsham then behind him. Now we're on board with Collard.
Look at the start from Collard. Goes to the left and then the gap opens up on the left, so he just keeps it floored, gets all the way around the Hondas and Jason Plato and is able to pull in tight and take the lead into Redgate.
And Plato has annihilated the lead of Rob Collard. It was 1.4 seconds. It's now just 0.48 seconds as they came over the line a moment ago. Collard, he said that he was going to have a few problems getting heat into the front tyres. By definition, it's a rear-wheel drive car, but the new turbo engine gives them another 20 kilos or so of weight over the front axle. It might have helped him initially, but it might be drifting away now.
Yeah, that's right, and this is a great battle here at the front. Look how close they are. Plato's got the handling of that car sorted out. He's got his tyres up temperature. He's really pushing Collard hard now as they come up to turn into Coppice and onto the straight.
Who's got the drag race? Who's got the drop as they come onto the back section? Wide line, tight line. Even Steven, still the BMW's got ahead. Collard's looking at him, and Collard can play hard just as Jason Plato can play hard. Down the gearbox we go, into the chicane, the right, the left. Don't hit those red curbs too hard, you might get a puncture.
Yeah, you've got to be careful. The tyre's up to pressure now, and certainly Plato's car, which initially seemed to struggle in the first couple of laps, absolutely flying now and looking to be handling very well. He certainly wasn't gaining on the straight there, and despite coming out of Coppice inside of Collard, he couldn't make any headway down the straight, so clearly the car's handling really well.
They've got it up to speed. It's very chilly here today at Donington Park. The pictures made show that it's a bright and sunny spring day, but it's very cold in the shadows as Jason Plato cuts the curb, hits the dirt on the inside, then the outside of the old hairpin. We're on board with the leader, Rob Collard. We are on lap 5 of 16, and now we've got a real freight train coming into town. We've got BMW from MG, from Ford Focus, from Honda, from then BMW with Tom Onslow Cole in 6th position. Jason looks to the right-hand side, just as he was last time, and it's a little bit closer, and Jackson must be grinning like a Cheshire cat.
Yeah, now is Jason going to be brave enough? He's down the inside, and Jackson's going to try and follow him. Will there be contact? Looks like they can both get through. They can, but they're going to be slow onto the straight. Matt Neal and Shedden are going to take advantage.
Collard goes from 1st to 5th position to 6th position. Jackson leads over the line now. The Ford Focus, that was more than too late on the brakes. He was lucky to use Jason as a stopping device.
Yeah, well, that's what touring cars are, stopping devices, aren't they? But great drama down at the chicane. Matt Jackson comes out of all of that in the lead. Watch this, is Jackson into the back of the MG. They come out, and he gets the lead. Collard gets forced on the grass, loses 4 places straight away as his teammate Onslow Cole goes through.
Now then we come up to McLean's for the 6th time. Jackson leads from the 2 Works Hondas. 2nd and 3rd, it's Shedden and Neal. Jason Plato in 4th position. Yes, the 2 BMWs 5th and 6th. Got to give a shout out to Newsham in 7th place with the Vauxhall. He is now on the tail of these guys, and this is soon going to be a 7-car battle for the lead as we're riding on board with Gordon Shedden. No weight leads, no weight in 2nd.
Exactly, and that's the way it should be, really. The balance, if it doesn't do anything, there's no point using it, but it should be enough to just tip the balance. But let's see if Plato can fight his way back through again. I mean, he's behind his nemesis Matt Neal, and they'll take no prisoners, but let's see how they go.
Andrew Jordan is in 8th position, Aaron Smith in 9th, Frank Rathall in 10th, Foster with the now repaired BMW, he is in 11th place. News coming up to us that Rob Austin has come into the pits. He had a head gasket problem after Brandt. He had a head gasket problem yesterday as well. They've had a lot of work to do in that garage. In fact, the Audi is just coming underneath our commentary position as we speak, whilst you guys look at the leaders, and that's bad news for Rob Austin, who had high hopes for the start of his 2012 British Touring Car Championship. Bonnet up, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for the rear-wheel drive car.
That's a shame, isn't it? Because Rob always is spectacular to watch. We love watching him. Shedden very wide, coming out of Coppice onto the straight. He's really pushing hard. And we're looking further back now. Jordan has the fastest lap on lap 5, and he's caught up to the tail of Dave Newsham now to make this an 8-car train at the front.
As they come onto the home straight once more, leading is Matt Jackson. And at the back of that pack, Jordan, that is a gap of 4.5 seconds, 1st to 8th position. And we are on board with Jordan. This is going to be one hell of a ride down the Craners.
Watch this, tyres all up to temperature obviously, so they'll be absolutely flat down the Craners. You can see where the balance of power lies. Let's listen. Little bit of a lift, it sounded like just turning in, maybe to get the front of the car in. Cuts a huge amount off the inside there, the old heavy. Newsham, oh! 4 wheels across the inside going under Starkeys. This is more like an autocross than a circuit race.
I know the RAC Rally used to come here, Tim, but I didn't know it still came here.
And the drivers wonder why they pick up punctures.
And now, you get a bit of dirt on your tyres. What's it like when you turn into the next corner?
Well, if it's on the rear of a front-wheel drive car, it can really get loose. Jordan looking... No, Plato attack the inside of Neal.
That's the battle for 3rd position. Jackson and Shedden are pulling away with it, but Matt Neal and Jason Plato, quelle surprise, they're back together.
Yeah, well, we know the MG's quicker on the straights. It's got quicker speed track figures throughout than the Honda. The Honda, one of the slower cars. Look, you can see here that Neal's having to defend because he knows Plato's got a faster car on the straight. This makes it very difficult to race.
Matt's going to have to keep the clean line. Jason's weaving one way then the other. You won't get through at Hollywood. Still, Matt Jackson leads this race as they plunge down the Craner curves, touching 135 miles an hour just before they're hard on the brakes into the old hairpin. Very difficult corner. Camber, it's all wrong down there, isn't it?
Yeah, the car doesn't want to stop because it's going downhill. Then you're trying to turn in against the camber. Very difficult.
Now we're on board. We're in 6th position with Rob Collard. We were with Rob Collard leading this race an electrifying start that he had from the third row of the grid, but then it all got a bit messy when we went into that chicane a couple of laps ago. There goes Newsham going through. Oh, and Jordan saying I don't need a second invitation and cutting through. Rob Collard, he's not having a good day at the office.
But look at this, side by side down the grain as you hold your breath. Oh, Newsham has a wobble, and that could so easily have taken him into Jordan. Then Collard dives up the inside, seizes the opportunity. Oh, this is close racing side by side down the grainers at 125 miles an hour.
Great racing for these guys. This still is the battle for third position. First and third go through your shot. The red Focus and the white Honda. Then we've got Matt Neal, reigning champion, 3 times champion is Matt Neal, and then we've got the 2-time champion Jason Plato right on his tail. Don't count out the dark horse, we've hardly mentioned him, Tom Onslow Cole right on their tail. Whilst that Honda and MG battle, the BMW could go in for the kill.
Yeah, the BMW seems very sensitive to setup, Toby. I mean, we saw at Brands Hatch, Rob Collard won the first race. He was leading the third race and then fell back, and that was setup issues. Ollie Jackson in the pits, what a shame. He was in 16th place. But the BMW is very sensitive to track conditions and setup, and it seems in this race, because Collard was leading and okay, he got out-fumbled, but he's fallen back, and Onslow Cole seems to have the best setup this time.
2 NGTC cars that we've got here, the Honda and the BMW, but that BMW is an old S2000 car, it's a bit lighter. Now then, Collard we're riding on board with, losing a position to Newsham. Newsham going through there, that is still the battle for 7th position down at the old hairpin. Okay, there's Andrew Jordan coming through your shot, 6th. Newsham then in 7th. It's Collard in 8th position, and then the Dubliner, the youngest driver in this race, Aaron Smith in 9th place, and the 25-year-old Frank Rathwell on his tail for 10th. There are your leaders on the graphic, 1, 2 and 3. Leaders covered by 3 seconds. That's the podium at the moment. Jackson leading from Shedden. Is Shedden biding his time?
No, he's pushing very, very hard. You saw the car that breaks into McLean's absolutely on the limit. Both Jackson and Shedden pushing really hard. They're the quickest 2 cars on the off-track by some considerable margin. Look at the difference in lines coming through Coppice there. Neal out wide and Plato quite tight. That's unusual. Normally it's Neal that's very tight on his lines. Oh, this is Aaron Smith alongside Collard. He's up the inside, and we know that motor-base fourth, very quick on the straight, so he must get this.
Smith goes through and takes 8th position. Nice manoeuvre that he set up into Coppice and then down the back section through this still relatively new chicane from last year before, and Aaron, 8th position for him. Great run for the man who needs some solid points. He didn't score in the first 2 rounds of the year, but he did score at round 3, the last race at Brands Hatch. Big slide there from Jackson as he comes through the old hairpin. That is absolutely on the edge. He's holding the steering wheel with his fingertips.
Yeah, I mean, Matt does have the car set up quite loose at the rear, so the front tyres don't wear out too quickly. That's the best way to go into a race in front-wheel drive car. He's actually just pulled a 2 or 3 tenths on Shedden in the last lap or so. Look at the car sliding back again. That's what I mean about it being loose on the rear.
Well, Matt Jackson has a day job. He's been developing the brand new McLaren road car. That's certainly tail-out stuff.
Yeah, that's a tough job, isn't it? Someone's got to do it, I suppose. Gordon Shedden's job, meanwhile, is running Knockhill Circuit, the commercial side of it. And there's his wife, Gillian, who's camera shy.
Well, she's going to be chewing her fingernails down to the quick. There's literally nothing between the 2 leaders, Jackson and Shedden, with lap times at least. But Jackson a lead of 0.9 of a second. Then a 2.5 second gap back to 3rd position. Still Matt Neal and Jason Plato. There he is, 1-2, gap. 3-4, little bit of a gap, and then 5th position man Tom Onslow Cole. We are with Collard. Looking back at Frank Rathwell, Collard has gone to 8th position. He's 14 seconds off the pace. What in heaven's name has happened with the setup of his car?
Yeah, just lost pace. This is very reminiscent of the third race at Brands when he was leading and then fell back. So we'll have to find out from the team what's going on exactly, because normally when Rob gets out in the lead, oh, look at it sliding. When Rob gets out in the lead, he's pretty unstoppable, and he did that in the first race at Brands, but just hasn't been able to keep that form up. But Rathel, a great run here, great run. He'd be very pleased to get into ninth.
He will indeed. They went testing, did the Dynajet Toyota squad with Frank Rathel and his dad. They went testing at Brands Hatch during the week. They drove 5 hours there, they had 5 sunny laps, came in for some changes, and it rained. Drove 5 hours home.
The joys of testing in England.
Now then, we come onto the home straight once more, and Rathel's got a good drive as our camera picks up the orange and black Toyota NGTC car for Frank Rathel. He's weaving one way, he's going for it, he's going for the lunge. It's tighter than you think through Redgate, and he gets cleanly through. That is Frank Rathel now in ninth, or is it? Or is
He's
it?
going to have to brave it out side by side. Collard's got a good run. He's actually going to be clean across the nose of Rathel. So great, put the power down really well out of Redgate, did Collard in the rear-wheel drive car, but Rathel's back on him again now.
Oh, he nearly has a bit of a slapper through there. And look at the drive that Rathel's got. Great racing from the 25-year-old. He's up, he's level, he's gone to the inside line, but it's the tighter line. Will he have the drive out of it? Collard thinks about tucking back, but he can't do it.
No, that was great racing. They both gave each other a lot of respect, a lot of room, half a lap side by side, really good action.
They come onto the back section as they build speed up to 130 miles an hour. And look at the leaders whilst we've been looking at the battle on the bubble of the top 10. Matt Jackson, Gordon Shedden, now a quarter of a second between them. And Shedden's on the pace, he's on the gas immediately.
Yeah, looks to be carrying more corner speed, definitely. And Jackson's advantage has really evaporated now with a lap and a half to go. Lap and a half, and they come down the Craners. And we know that Ford is quick on the straights, but is it working its tyres too hard? Oh, very, very exciting. Great camera shot.
Cocking an inside rear wheel, you saw a puff of smoke coming from it, and then a great big puff of dust as he cut the corner. Flash of overrun, and again another puff. Great racing. Look at the buck and bullets being thrown at the Honda as he comes up the hill. You got to chuck it into the right-hander. Where is the apex? It's there.
Yeah, well, it's a bit like a motocross rider trying to roost the guy behind now, isn't it? It's a new tactic in touring cars. But it's certainly around that second. I wonder if Matt made a mistake, because he looks to have just pulled that little bit of a gap again now on this lap. One more lap to go after the cross the start-finish line this time.
Here is the battle continuing for third position. Matt Neal has got the defending to do, whilst his teammate Shedden has got the attacking to do with the two Works Hondas. And as we start the last lap, it could be a first and second change, it could be a third and fourth change. Matt holds the inside line. Jason goes well wide, almost going to the pub on the outside of Redgate. Now, has he got the drive as he goes through Hollywood? Look at the crowd. You can see who's cheering on Plato. You can see who's cheering on Matt Neal. And Jason Plato is going around the outside down the Crater curves. He almost goes to the inside, and he has a little bit of oversteer as he turns in. Great side-by-side racing.
Well, Jason knew that Matt's car would slide out wide, so he gave him plenty of room. He certainly didn't want a repeat of the roll he had at Craners last year in the Chevy, and he gave plenty of room to Matt.
Still these two, needle to needle between these two. Third and fourth position, but back with the leaders. We've just got one more corner to go. Jackson in the focus, still leads. Shedden, he's not quite as close as he wants to be before he's getting on the brakes. Into the chicane, he's going to give it a go. It lunges one way, then the other. What can Jason Plato do? Matt Jackson is victorious here at Donington Park. What a victory. He won here last year, and he's winning again. Another fourth different winner in 2012. Shedden gets second, Neal third, Plato in fourth, Onslow, Cole and Jordan. Over the line comes Newsham ahead of Aaron Smith. And as we see these battle continuing for 12th position, there's Gillen, there's Morgan, and there's Jeff Smith, 13th, 14th and 15th it is in fact. They will get points down to 15th position, so there's still more to play for. It was only points down to 10 last year. Morgan's on the inside. Oh, and Smith has a big barge. And Smith's going to go. Oh, no, Gillam's going to be hardest through there. No, it's going to be Smith who's going to come out the victor of that rather hard battle on and off the racetrack.
Well, Gillam's car is as team hard. It says go hard or go home, and you don't intimidate Tony Gillam very easily, so well played there.
Matt Jackson, though, has run out the victor here at Donington Park. What a victory. That thing was sliding all over the place. I thought, Tim, the tyres might have gone off a little bit too much towards the end of the race.
Well, great for Matt Jackson and the whole Motorbase crew. They had a disastrous Brands Hatch, their home circuit, the first race, and this will have given the team a real lift, and Matt's shaking his fist. He's really pleased.
Okay, now let's catch up with Gordon Shedden, second position man across the line. Gordon, it's Toby up in the commentary box. You tried, but he just pulled out on that last half a lap.
Yeah, it's very difficult. You know, the Civic was going really, really well, but you know that Ford's kind of quick in a straight line, to say the least. There's no way you can pass at the end of the straights, and coming off the corners better, getting better traction, and then just losing in a straight line. So it's difficult, but it was a clean race. There's good points on the board. I think we've got a good balance in the car, and we'll look forward to race 2.
You had a massive slide in qualifying yesterday. Have you got rid of the oversteer, do you reckon?
I hope so. It's a bit of a happy balance, isn't it? But no, the car felt fantastic from start to finish. Really good, really consistent. So yeah, it bodes well for the rest of the day.
Okay, good luck. Thank you. Confirmation that Matt Jackson has been victorious here at Donington Park, just under a quarter of a second ahead of Gordon Shedden. Matt Neal, his teammates, well, not on his tail, but at least on the podium, but ahead of Jason Plato, his arch nemesis. Tom Onslow Cole in 5th ahead of Andrew Jordan, Dave Newsham, Aaron Smith and Frank Rathall. The charge of the youngsters there ahead of Rob Collard, who went from pole to 10th position. Quite bizarre. Nick Foster, his teammate, in 11th. Dan Welch, Jeff Smith, Tony Gillam, Adam Morgan, we saw battling for the last point, and that did go to Morgan in 15th. Andy Neat, he started from the back in 22nd position. He cut through for 16th. Jason Plato, he did have a lead of 4 points coming into this race. It's now 3 ahead of Matt Neal. Andrew Jordan stays in 3rd position. Rob Collard stays in 4th. But Matt Jackson leaps from 9th position to 5th ahead of Onslow Cole, Newsham, Smith, Austin and Shedden, who finally gets some nice solid points on the board because he only scored once. It's very frustrating, Tim, when you start a season and you don't get any points, and then finally it all comes together. And that's really what is going to be going through the mind and the psychological approach to the next couple of races with Matt Jackson.
Yeah, Mickey Butler from Dunlop and Ollie from the whole team congratulating him. There's Dave Bartram. Look how much winning means to him. Absolutely loves it, and it's great to see the team celebrating. Give him a real lift.
Jackson was victorious in round 4 a little earlier at Donington. Now we're poised for round 5 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. Tim Harvey and Toby Moody, the commentators once again.
I'm certainly looking forward to this race here, the middle of our 3 races at Donington this afternoon here on ITV4, and I'm looking forward to it because we had such a good first race of the day, in which Matt Jackson was victorious ahead of Gordon Shedden. Therefore, they are 1st and 2nd on this grid. Matt Neal heads row 2 with Jason Plato. Row 3, Tom Onslow Cole and Andrew Jordan. Row 4, Dave Newsham and Aaron Smith. Frank Rathall, Rob Collard, who had a pole at the beginning of the day, but he faded. Nick Foster and Dan Welch make up the 6th row. And then Jeff Smith, Tony Gillam, Adam Morgan, Andy Neat, Chris James, Ollie Jackson at the back of the grid. But Jackson won't take the start. They're not going to risk a new engine. Tony Hughes, Liam Griffin, Lee Wood will actually start from the very, very back. He's still suffering a little bit of damage after race 1. Now we've got a clearance to speak to Andrew Jordan. He's going to be starting 6th position on the grid. Andrew, it's Toby up in the commentary box. You've lost 27 kilos for this race from the first race earlier today. How's the car going to feel?
Hopefully, mate, it's gonna feel a bit better. I had a moment at Redgate, my own fault, so I had to come back from that a little bit. So that was a bit frustrating, but the car was good. You just got to look after the front tyres early on, and then make progress later on in the race. So I'm hoping to get a podium from this race, if I'm honest.
Well, in this second race last year, you led every lap and you won it, so best of luck.
Thanks, mate.
Tim, he's lost those 27 kilos. How good will he feel coming to the start?
Well, I mean, it makes the car more agile, it makes it stop better, it makes it accelerate better, and it makes it lighter on its tyres. So it should be better all round, really. And he's certainly had good pace. We've seen him obviously high up in qualifying, and he's got a very good chance here. And it just depends how Matt Jackson suffers with the weight on his car. Gordon Shedden, we know, is quick, but he didn't have weight in the previous race and has 36 kilos. It could make all the difference.
Tom Onslow-Cole, he will be starting in 5th position. He's the leading BMW on this grid. Tim, we saw an electrifying start from Collard's earlier today to rush through and lead at the first corner. Do you think Tom's going to be the hot one going into Redgate?
Well, definitely. He's starting in exactly the same place that Collard did. If the road opens up for him in the same way it did for Collard, he's got a good chance. Don't worry about that smoke, by the way. They changed turbos yesterday, and there's some oil residue still in the intercooler and things, but it's nothing to worry about.
It's all very James Bond, isn't it? He's got his finger on the smoke button. Let's hope it's not the oil button for Tom Onslow-Cole as we ride on board with Rob Collard. He was leading the first race this morning, round 4 of the championship, but it faded with that setup that you heard Dick Bennett's, the team boss, tell Louise earlier when they were on the grid. Okay, the last car's coming to the rear, and at the front we're going to have to concentrate on Matt Jackson on the left-hand side as we prepare to go racing for the 5th round of this year's British Touring Car Championship. The wind is up, the sun is high, we're under starters orders and we're racing again. Not a good start from Matt Neal. Again, it's the Focus who leads. Matt Jackson got a great start. Tom Onslow-Cole is on the grass. He's cutting the grass. He's going to be slotting into 5th or even 6th position. His teammate Rob Collard's going around the outside of Redgate. Look at the lead of the Focus. It's a street ahead.
That was a beautiful start by Matt Jackson. Absolute peach. And Plato side by side. Oh, look at the cold rear tyres there. Car sliding. Aaron Smith nearly off on the grass. Plato putting the pressure on immediately.
And he's up into 3rd is Jason Plato, and he's immediately trying to go around the outside of Gordon Shedden, who started from that 2nd position. There's a big R and Shedden's had a nudge, and that's a big slide, but he managed to hold it on the opposite lock as they go into McLean's. Look at the logjam behind Gordon Shedden. Those 36 kilos of ballast are really hurting.
Well, it's early days yet. Takes a little time for them to get their tyres up to real operating temperature. Neil up the inside of Plato, who got bumped just a little bit by teammate. This could be really interesting in the chicane.
And the BMWs are following the reigning champion through. Look at the BMW behind Matt Neal, and Plato's being hung out to dry, but he's given it just a little bit of space. But not much. And Jason Plato, the championship leader, is out. He's maybe not, he could recover that. The damage, can he get it started? Collard has spun as well. At the end of the first lap, the championship leader has been pushed out before the end of the first lap. I thought there was enough space there, Tim. There wasn't.
There was enough space if they'd given each other enough space. The truth was that Plato felt a little aggrieved, I think, that Collard had muscled his way through on the inside and tried to push him out on the way out. If they'd given each other room, they could have got through, I think.
Tom Onslow-Cole is now in 4th position. There is Andrew Jordan in 5th place with the Pertec Honda. Well, Dave Newsham, what an electrifying first lap. He has had to come through the order. Still leading this race is Matt Jackson, and he's leading it by 2.3 seconds. It's surely going to be even more at the end of this lap. But Jason Plato is coming down pit lane. He's out of the race and he won't be scoring points here today. The safety car is coming out, probably because of Collard. Well, Jason Plato, we've had a logjam there before.
Yeah, very interesting actually, because last year, do you remember last year in the meeting when Jason Plato was off at the chicane hard into that tyre wall prior to his roll? I mean, it's that's not proving a good corner fit, but I think when we see the replay, we'll see here we go. Right. Matt Neal's up the inside. Collard tries to follow through. Now watch Plato. He lets the car run out wide. He tries to push Collard off, and ends up turning himself around the front. I think they could have given each other more room there.
Well, Jason On board with Andrew Jordan, it's all going to unfold in front of us. They tagged once, they tagged twice.
Yeah, it's once the cars are connected. Look, Collard's coming through, he's got on the inside, Plato doesn't want him there, touch there, then Plato tries to push him out again and ends up turning himself across the front.
Oh.
So close as Collard came back across the road getting collected again.
Jason Plato needs to go out and buy a black cat so he can walk in front of him whenever he comes to race at Donington Park.
It is, but the safety car lights are out, so we're back to action at the end of this lap. The safety car lights are out, so Jackson's already preparing for a restart.
Here is another view. The leader has already gone through, second and third, the two Hondas, and Plato hits once, he hits twice, and then gets spun around. But a massively terrifying moment for Rob Collard, who was spun in front of the oncoming traffic, and he could have got hit very nastily, but he's okay. Okay, we're back into racing here at Donington Park. Matt Jackson's lead has been evaporated. Now can he get the drop as he comes over the line? Foot hard to the floor. He leads from Gordon Shedden, from Matt Neal, second and third. Onslow Cole in the BMW, fourth. Then we've got Jordan, then Dave Newsham next up. Aaron Smith, what a great drive he's had. And Frank Rathel is in eighth position, just going free a shot. There then is Nick Foster coming down with his brand new reshelled BMW after Brands Hatch. Tony Gillam, Jeff Smith as well coming into the Craners. But what can Gordon Shedden do to pile on the coals?
Well, it's still getting up to they're evenly spread at the moment, but the weight won't really come into play until about halfway through this race, and then we might see Jackson struggle with tyre wear. It does have a big effect, and he's gained 45 kilos over his first race, so it's a significant change to the setup of the car.
Rob Collard has managed to get his BMW going. He is running in this race. He's back in 19th position. He's the last runner on the racetrack, and he's got a chance of scoring some points. They go down to 15th. Leader comes into the foggy S's. Gordon Shedden, Matt Neal, Tom Onslow Cole, Andrew Jordan rushing through your shot. There we have Jeff Smith and Dan Welch, the Honda and the Proton respectively.
Yeah, Dan Welch getting up side by side with Jeff Smith. There's a drag race down the start-finish line, and just in front of that you've got Tony Gillam and Nick Foster side by side.
Down through Hollywood we come once more. Let's see if we can pick up this battle here with the Honda and the Proton. Indeed we can, as we touch 130 miles an hour down the bottom of the hill. It's only a little bit less than 130 miles an hour there, and Shedden's really got the pace on now.
Yeah, Shedden hasn't had a race win yet this year. Disastrous first meeting at Brands. He really wants to get a win under his belt, I'm sure.
45 kilos of ballast for the car that's leading, 36 kilos of ballast for the car that we're riding with Gordon Shedden. But remember, that S2000 base chassis of the Ford Focus is about 110 kilo lighter anyway.
Yeah, but Shedden's got up the inside, two different approaches to Coppice. Matt Jackson went in fast and came out a little bit slower, and Shedden went in slow and got right underneath immediately and made that pass look easy.
Gordon Shedden now leads the race as we come round to complete the fifth lap of 17 here at Donington Park. Honda from Ford, from Honda, and we got a spinner. Dan Welch has spun out of the last corner. One of the Vauxhalls managed to tuck past, so does Andy Neat. Can he get a hot engine started? About the most difficult thing you can do in motorsports. Look at the heat pouring out of those brakes.
Yeah, it looks like, not sure if he clipped the curb on the way. Oh, well, yeah, he's just gone in too quick and ended up going across the gravel, and not much grip on the gravel going sideways on those slicks.
Well, can he get that thing started? Let's hope that we don't have another safety car. Gordon Shedden won't want that. Matt Jackson struggling to keep up with him. That's about 3 car lengths now that Matt Jackson is behind Gordon Shedden. Matt Jackson, winner of the first race here today. We've had 4 races in the championship already, and we've had four different victors in drivers and 4 different victors with type of car as well.
Well, this will be a 5th different victory if Shedden gets keeps his nose in front to the end. But there's really very little. Now, that's Plato's car. I don't think that was too badly damaged, actually. The team have obviously done some work. Plato is still in the car, so it may be that he's going to go out and just see if the car feels okay, if they think it's all right at the end of this race. But the damage didn't look too bad because the car went in sideways to the tyre wall.
Well, he's running with 18 kilos of ballast in this race, but he'll have no kilos of ballast in our final round later this evening. Plato rejoins, but he's already 2 laps down. Here, though, is Tom Onslow Cole and Andrew Jordan side by side. The BMW keeps its nose ahead. That's smoke coming out of the exhaust, not off from the underside of those tyres. Jordan's going to have a good run here, and Newsham could come through too.
Yeah, I think Jordan might do this if he can stay all the way around the outside, up through Starkey's and into McLean's. It's a difficult one, but he's going to have the inside on the brakes.
Whoa.
Newsham's trying to go through as well.
No!
And he does contact with... Oh!
He just about holds it. Andrew Jordan holds it on the island, but all of that hard work has been undone. And Newsham has now got ahead. So Newsham up into 4th position. At the back of your shot there, the yellow 888 build Vauxhall. What a drive. He snuck through it. He read it well.
Well, Newsham was on the receiving end of some aggression, obviously, at Brands Hatch, and he's obviously decided that aggression is the only way to get through in touring cars, but he certainly went through very well there. Slippery surface flag there being waved at the chicane. I think that's just for gravel on the track rather than any fluid. This is on board with Jordan. He's got Newsham up behind. There's the tap, sends him sideways. No problem for Jordan to hold it. He's a former British Rallycross champion, so he can hold the slide. And I mean, it may be something that Bob Kent was going to look at there, because you didn't need that contact for Newsham to have taken that place, actually.
Well, Tom Onslow Cole snicks through as well. There was no contact with his BMW. Meanwhile, we've got Gordon Shedden continuing to lead, but his teammate Matt Neal thinks about making the same kind of manoeuvre at McLean's, and Matt Neal's got great drive as he comes out of McLean's up to Coppice, up over the crest. There's no way that Matt Jackson can turn in. It's now a Honda 1-2.
Yeah, that was a classic Matt Neal, put the pressure on. He loves to overtake up the inside into McLean's. We've seen it year on year, but he managed to make Jack Jackson just run wide and get the superior drive through the corner, and it's a Honda 1-2 now.
Okay, well, Matt Neal is running with 27 kilos of ballast compared with Shedden's 36, but Shedden is just, well, not quite got the red mist, but he wants to put the gremlins and the devils away from that pretty chronic Brands Hatch opening weekend a fortnight ago. He's already finished 2nd here today. Can he hold it for the victory in this race?
This is Chris James coming into view here, and that's recovering Plato, who... No, it's Neat. Apologies, it's Neat, who's in the thick of the action there, and that's Collard coming through behind.
Meanwhile, back with the Andrew Jordan Onslow Cole battle, and they have now got Aaron Smith right up. Sorry, Jeff Smith there.
Yes, it's blue Hondas and white BMWs in tandem, isn't it?
So then, as they make their way up to the... Oh, spots of moisture on the lens there, and there's rain on the screen of our commentary box, on the window of our commentary position. A few drops of rain, Tim. That may be giving these guys a little bit more oversteer, but again, they're going to see it on the windscreen, and it's going to spook them.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is they've got the tyres nice and hot already, so they're certainly gripping, and it shouldn't be enough to make a problem for the cars at the moment, but if it gets any worse, it didn't take much in qualifying for the cars to start sliding around a huge amount. Oh, that looked like a big lock-up going into chicane. Jackson on the outside of Neal, putting the pressure on. Will he cut back?
Whoa!
Oh, Neal saw that one coming and held a tight line on the exit.
That was a great drive into the corner by Matt Jackson. Now they go down the Craners, and the wind will be coming into their faces there. I heard a report that it was hailing at Silverstone, which is only about, an hour's drive away from here. Admittedly downwind, but hailing at Silverstone about half an hour ago. We don't need any of that here today.
No, we certainly don't. But Matt Jackson seems to have got a renewed lease of life, actually. Whether this is because the track is starting to change in grip and it comes to him a little bit, his car setup maybe soon to get a bit better, I don't know. But he looks like he's got a new lease of life.
The man in 4th position, Dave Newsham, is the fastest man on the track at the moment. He's the only one to do a 1:11. And he's got a real jump on. Meanwhile, this battle for 5th and 6th position, Andrew Jordan, Tom Onslow Cole. Jordan gets it through with the Honda. Tom Onslow Cole continues to smoke, but not smoke at Andrew Jordan.
No, and Jordan a little way to go, but before he can perhaps achieve that podium finish he was looking for, the man really looking for it is Dave Newsham. He's the one that's looking for another podium. He got that great podium in the 3rd race at Brands at the first meeting, looking for another one.
And again, he is the fastest driver out there here at Donington Park around this 2-mile circuit. Was that an MG I saw?
That was Plato coming back into the pit lane. He's obviously been out and just tested the car, but back in again now. Hopefully it's all okay for race 3.
That was outside our commentary position. We could see a few more drops of rain falling here at Donington Park. It's very blowy indeed, but still Gordon Shedden, well, he's used to that kind of weather. Up in Knock Hill, isn't he? On top of the hill there.
Yeah, although as he always says, he doesn't actually get to drive the circuit very much. He might be commercial director, but he doesn't get to drive it very much. But this battle for second really shaping up to be a good one.
Under big pressure now is the reigning champion, Matt Neal. He may have won here 12 months ago ahead of Andrew Jordan, but it's going to be his teammate who's looking pretty healthy in this race as we complete 11 of 17. This is neat with Adam Morgan battling for 14th position. Adam Morgan taking 2 points there. Down the bottom of the hill, there goes Lee Wood through your shot, and there's Frank Rathall, who's well down the order. He's had a bad run whilst we've been concentrating on the leaders. Oh, wipers trying to work there for Chris James, but they're not working at all, and it might have disrupted his concentration.
Yeah, good to see Andy Neat actually having a trouble-free run and finally getting some mileage in. This is a battle for 12. Chris James, Andy Neat, Adam Morgan, and Liam Griffin, the fourth car in that group, the other Motorbase car.
Down the bottom of the hill they come once more. Building speed up through Schwantz, the Vauxhall, then the brand new MG6. A whole host of guests that they've got here. They were over the moon to see that Jason Plato was on pole position 24 hours ago, and it's bumping one way then the other. Neat has to look one way, then he has to look the other, and that's a big contact. Oh, and Liam Griffin touches James. He goes all the way over the gravel, and that was a quick off.
Yeah, that was Chris James going wide, and everybody trying to seize on the opportunity to make a place. Contact with Griffin just threw them off. Griffin not looking very happy at all. What has he got to do? He's going over to Chris James, but I think he needs to see the replay and just see. Well, it's a bit of a Netta Lindgren moment coming up now.
Jonathan was here yesterday.
Yes, he was.
Oh, he's giving him what for. Thank goodness we can't lip read with that full face helmet. Dear oh dear, tension's high. Yeah, you come out and you really do have. Now let's have a look at it. Yeah, we're coming into McLean.
James runs wide in the yellow Vectra. You watch, he goes in a bit too quick, gets a slide, goes wide. Neat comes through, there's a bit of contact just there which pushes James out, and then as he comes back onto the circuit, in fact, I mean, there was no way that was James's fault. Griffin was moving across the road actually at him. I mean James had to come back on the circuit, didn't he? And Griffin was trying to take advantage to move through the middle and pass it. Look, I mean, that's a racing incident. It's a racing incident. I hope when Liam sees that back, he'll realise that there was no blame attached to either driver there.
Back to the leaders. Gordon Shedden leads this race after 13 of 17, and he leads it by just over 2 1/3 seconds from his teammate Matt Neal. How much pressure can Matt Jackson put on Matt Neal now? The answer is he's struggling to keep on to the tail of the #1 Honda because he's got Dave Newsham all over the back of the Ford 2S2000 chassis.
Yeah, well, just remember the two Hondas, NGTC cars, they have an inch wider tyres, so they will actually probably keep their tyres together a little bit more. They'll carry the weight a little bit more. Matt Jackson in the Super 2000 car, an inch narrower tyres, the same as Dave Newsham in fairness, but a lot harder at the end of the races.
Onto the back section we come again. Battle for third position. Who's going to get busy with the fizzy by the time when they get onto the podium in another 4 laps or so? Into the chicane, flick right, flick left, over the crest, foot hard down. You can see the crash helmet of Matt Jackson looking up into the mirror and seeing how close that yellow Vauxhall is getting. Still the bonnet of the Vauxhall is still a little bit loose. It's flapping away as he builds up speed to about 130 miles an hour across the start-finish line. But can he keep the pace down the Craners?
No more rain falling at the moment. The lap time's about a second off the fastest lap, which was Onslow Cole earlier on lap 4. That's about what you'd expect to sort of be commensurate with tyre degradation. This is Foster locking up and going into McLean's, and Aaron Smith getting a nice drive out up the inside into Coppice.
So that's 8th position going to the Dubliner, Aaron Smith. And he's having a good first year so far in the British Touring Car Championship. First, second, a Honda 1-2 at the moment. Will it be a Ford? Will it be a Vauxhall in 3rd? Again, Newsham can't quite get the drive out of Coppice onto this back section. Underneath where the Dunlop Bridge used to be. Going to be sections of that up for auction in a month's time, Tim. You're going to buy one for your
I'd
front
like
room?
a piece of that. It'd be a nice entrance to my drive.
It would, wouldn't it? Word that they're going to put one over the M6 as well.
Yeah, that is my drive.
Oh, okay then. But as these guys now have another 2 laps to go, that's just 4 miles for Dave Newsham to work out how he can get past Matt Jackson. But Jackson's savvy. Winner here last year and winner here earlier today. This, though, is Jeff Smith, Tom Onslow Cole and Andy and Tony Gillam having a great scrap for 6th position. 2 Hondas, a 2012 car and a 2011 car, and the BMW drifting. He's absolutely on it. Onslow Cole giving no quarter whatsoever. Demonly late on the brakes.
Yeah, I think Tony Gillam thought, I'm not going to risk going side by side with Onslow Cole down the Craner curves there, and backed out of it and having another go now up the inside. But that won't be a passing manoeuvre as Onslow Cole can defend the inside. This is just in front. That was an on-board from Rob Collard, who's just catching this up. Now this might be a better chance for Tony Gillam.
Tony Gillam up on the inside into the blind right-hander, and he makes the move stick. Does he turn in a little bit too early? Let's see what Tom Onslow Cole can do as we start the last lap here at Donington Park for this 5th round of the British Championship. Shedden leads it by 1.6 seconds from Matt Neal, his teammate. But 1.3 seconds back is Matt Jackson. There's a backmarker, Tony Hughes, in the mix with the blue and white Toyota, and Matt Jackson is going to be desperate to get past.
Yeah, and he's going to catch him at just the wrong place, going down the Craner curves. Hughes stays out of the way. Fortunately, Newsham has to back off big time to get round safely, and that's broken that whole train up. The first 4 places now looking set.
Up towards McLean's for the final time. Gordon Shedden, the most difficult lap of the season. Meanwhile, this battle with Tony Gillam has got him in that 7th position because 6th is running away, Jeff Smith. Gillam, then we've got Onslow Cole and we've got Rob Collard. What a fight back from the back of the field, battling against his teammate. Dick Bennett will be having kittens to see the 2 cars going side by side, and will Aaron Smith cut through? Meanwhile, Gordon Shedden makes it 5 rounds of the British Touring Car Championship this year, and we've had 5 different victors. He's victorious for the first time in 2012. It's a Honda 1 and 2. Matt Jackson makes it 2nd place to back up his victory earlier today. In 3rd position. This is the battle with Rob Collard, though. What a fight back. He's managed to get past ahead of Aaron Smith, although it's going to be a photo finish. He does just stay ahead of the Focus. Collard clinching 8th position.
That was a beautiful last lap by Collard. His switchback as they came through McLean's was absolutely precision. He missed the back of his teammate's car by about an inch. And then he passed Aaron Smith as well. Let's see if we can get a word with our winner.
Gordon, this is Toby and Tim up in the commentary box. We can't see your smile, mate, but we can see the glint in your eye. How does it feel?
Oh, guys, unbelievable. So needed, as many good results as possible this weekend after Brands Hatch. And, a 2nd and a 1st, a pretty good way to start. We just need to follow that up in race 3 with some more big points, get us back in this game.
Well, it felt pretty well with 36 kilos, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I think, the balance of the car has been absolutely sweet as a nut, and made a few changes after race 1, and it's really good, really good.
Well done, well done. 3rd in 2010 in the championship, 2011 he was 2nd in the championship, and Gordon Shedden has truly got his eyes on the prize for this year. And
of course we have the reverse grid coming up, so beware of the cars from 6th till 10th. That's Jeff Smith, Tony Gillam, Rob Collard, Aaron Smith and Onslow Cole. Any one of those could be on pole position for race 3.
there is Jason Plato. He came into this race as the championship leader and he led it by 3 points, but he's not going to be leading it after this race. Confirmation, Gordon Shedden taking his first victory of 2012 ahead of his teammate Matt Neal. It's a Honda 1-2. Matt Jackson with the Ford Focus in third, battling to the line ahead of Dave Newsham. Andrew Jordan, what a fight back in the second part of that race, but the Pertec Hondas were 5th and 6th. Jeff Smith right behind him. Tony Gillam, good race by him, ahead of Rob Collard. What a fantastic fight back. A burn from the stern. Aaron Smith in 9th and Tom Onslow Cole in 10th. 11th was Nick Foster, Andy Neese, Adam Morgan, Rathall and Lee Wood taking the last point. Well, Tim, Jason Plato is going to be well fired up after coming into this race as the leader. He's now 14 points behind. Matt Neal now leads ahead of Jason Plato with one more race here at Donington Park today. Andrew Jordan, he stays in third position. Matt Jackson, fourth. Rob Collard, Shedden climbs up even further from 10th to 6th. Newsham, Jeff Smith, Onslow Cole and Rob Austin, who unfortunately won't be taking part.
Jeff Smith on pole with Pertec teammate Andrew Jordan alongside, gets set to lead around this reshuffled grid for the 6th round of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. The climax of an excellent day here at Donington Park. Tim Harvey and Toby Moody are the commentators.
Thank you, Steve. Welcome to a rather gloomy Donington Park. It's pretty dark out there at the moment, Tim. A few rain clouds have come overhead over the last couple of minutes or so. Surely track temperature will be dropping. Will that cause a problem for a few people?
It's been cold on track all day. We've seen a few little moments on the first lap. Of course, this is the reverse grid, so you've got slightly slower cars in front of faster cars. There's always drama instant in this race, and it all starts with the start line. The two Pertec cars, Smith and Jordan, on the front row.
They've got a view of those dark clouds. Will that be a problem as this race progresses? So then, the two Pertec Hondas are on the front row. It's Smith on the left and Jordan on the right-hand side. But you're going to have to watch out and see how Jason Plato cuts through the order, starting back in 17th position. Punted out of the last race. That coming together with Rob Collard at the final chicane means that really, Jason Plato is going to need a pair of binoculars to even see the lights go out. It's a long way to the front for Plato to fight through. There he is, the number 99 car. He's 3 from the back. We've got no Rob Austin and we've got no Ollie Jackson here in this final race of 3 here live on ITV4. So let's have a look at the grid, shall we? And let's see how the top 6 who have been reversed have shook out. Jeff Smith is on the pole with his teammate Andrew Jordan right alongside him. Dave Newsham with Matt Jackson, winner already here today. They make up the second row. Row 3 is Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden. Shedden victorious last time out. Tony Gillam and Rob Collard, they're on the 4th row. Row 5 is Aaron Smith with Tom Onslow Cole. Row 6 is Nick Foster and Andy Neat. Row 7, Adam Morgan and Frank Rathall. Lee Wood and Tony Hughes. Then Plato with Chris James behind him. Liam Griffin, Daniel Welch, Ollie Jackson and Rob Austin. Well, those last two, they are not starting. An engine problem for Austin and another engine failure that happened to Ollie Jackson earlier today as well meant that he's not going to take part in this race.
Cars trying to build as much heat in the tyres as they possibly can. It is colder now. We've still got smoke coming from Onslow Cole's car, but the team told me no problem. Let's see if we can get a word with Rob Collard.
Rob, it's Toby and Tim up in the commentary position. You've not had much luck today. You were victorious at Brands Hatch. Have you still got your lucky pants on?
I have actually, yes. I sorted them out this morning, but they've not been as lucky today for me as they were at Brands Hatch.
No, hopefully you'll have a bit of luck in this race. You're doing the London Marathon next week. Is that going to be easier than doing this race?
Well, I must admit, my training's going well. My training's been going very well, but you know, today's proven to be very difficult so far. We've got the speed in the car, but we haven't had any luck. So it's going to be interesting.
We'll leave you to get some heat into those front tyres. Best of luck. Now, the BMWs in the last race, Tim, they had a problem with graining of the tyres, but what they've done for this race, they put on some tyres that went through a heat cycle yesterday in qualifying. They might have found the key.
Yeah, it's all the BMW is very sensitive to setup changes, and it is cold weather today. Lots of different ways of getting the tyre up to temperature. We've seen that the NGTC cars with their wider tyres take a few laps longer to get really in the zone and get the temperature up. Matt Jackson saying that his car gets the temperature very quickly, so he wants to push like mad from the start. And that's true of all the Super 2000 cars, but we've certainly got an interesting prospective race here. Newsham's going to be trying to get a third place in a podium like he did at Brands.
Keep our fingers crossed and hope that those dark clouds stay away. I think we might just have chosen the right moment to go racing for our final race of 3. Round 6 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship is lining up here at Donington Park. The man on pole position is Jeff Smith. He's never won a British touring car race. Andrew Jordan, his teammates in the sister Honda alongside him, but the Hondas have had trouble getting off the line here today. Jason Plato is towards the rear of the grid. He's in 17th position as we're about to go racing here for 16 laps at Donington Park. And again, as the lights come on, they're going to hold them a long time. Bit of creeping. Oh, not a good start for Jeff Smith. Already his teammate has got into the lead. Jeff Smith is being swallowed up in the middle of the pack into Redgate. Look at this manoeuvre. That's going to be Jackson. Jackson around the outside, and cold tyres have caught him out immediately. And so is one of the Hondas. He goes on. And so is Nick Foster. He's in the gravel immediately as we come down Craner Curve. Who's leading? It's Newsham.
From Collard, another great start from Collard. Well, those Matt Jackson and a couple of more carnage on cold tyres.
It's Griffin and James.
And Chris James, but they're keeping going.
They had an off together in the last race. Oh, there's going to be words by the time they get back to the pits. At the front, look at this. Dave Newsham, nice defensive line into the right-hander at McLean's. Rob Collard gets a bit of a push from Matt Jackson. And behind him, that is Tom Onslow Cole in the BMW. He is in... No, it's Collard, sorry.
Yeah, it was Matt Jackson who said that he had to get a good start. He had to push hard before the NGTC cars got their tyres up to temperature. He's got good speed down the straight. He's pulled away from the BMW, but, well, he's really pushing hard at the start. Let's see if he can get a run through the chicane.
It is Onslow Cole right on their tail as we come across the line. Newsham still got the advantage from Collard. Looking one way, then the other. That's going to be very tight. Oh, there's a big crash at the back. Is that Neat or is it Plato? It's one of the MGs.
And it was into the concrete wall. It's a big accident at high speed. Let's see who came through.
It's Neat. It's Andy Neat who's gone into the wall, and that thing is going nowhere fast. Look at the rear end. It's every which way but forward. Goodness me, what a lap.
Well, the reverse grid race always produces lots of drama, excitement. Throw in a bit of cold temperature and cold tyres, it gets even more exciting. But this battle at the front, Newsham leading Collard, Matt Jackson and Onslow Cole. Great battle. All of these cars, Super 2000 cars.
Rob Collard, we're on board with him in second position. He started from 8th on the grid. Those BMWs are electrifying once they let the clutch in. As we come down the back section, has he got a good run? Has he got a good run? Jackson's right behind him. Line astern into the foggy S's. Newsham being very cool at the moment as we come round to complete lap 2.
Yeah, Newsham having to drive defensively. His car doesn't look as quick on the straights as the BMW and the Ford, and this is creating exciting racing as they run over the debris left by Neat's car. Jackson's down the outside and he's level with Collard.
Jason Plato up into 12th position. The leading 4, nothing between them. They're covered by 0.6 of a second when they cross the line. Great racing for the British Touring Car Championship. Oh, Jackson's going to get left with nowhere to go. Onslow Cole and now the two Works Hondas, who are 5th and 6th. That is Neil and Shedden are right up in the mix as Collard goes grass tracking. Oh, and he's going to have to struggle to get it back. But he holds his teammate up. Onslow Cole, who's gone off and he's lost all the momentum. And there's going to be even more carnage at the McLean's corner. That is Matt Neal, the reigning champion, who gets spun out. And he's in the gravel and he's not going to score. And the championship leader is out of the race.
Well, it all kicked off then Newsham was slow into the old hairpin, had a moment. Collard had a moment coming out on the outside. We didn't see what started the incident then with Matt Neal and Jordan, but they're still fighting back to the line. They're fighting back to the line. That's Shedden trying to get past Collard. And look, Griffith, look. Oh, big moment. And it's going to be Tony Gillam that's right next to them in the green Honda.
He's in 4th position as he comes across the line. Obviously, the safety car is out. Gillam might have overtaken under yellow, so he's given a place back. Well, right, that was half a lap of, as you say, Tim, shunt into one corner, into the next. And just as we were concentrating on Onslow Cole going off, I could see in the corner of the picture the bunching up that eventually put Matt Neal, the championship leader, into the gravel.
Yeah, well, he's got a non-finish as well to match Plato's non-finish in the previous race. We just catch our breath for a moment. We've got, let's see a replay now. This is, the Onslow car goes off. There's bunching behind. Oh, Jordan gets into the side of Neal as they bunch up behind Gillam, and that just sends them both spinning. Jordan manages to keep it going. Matt Neal doesn't.
That's so unlucky for Matt Neal because it was the right way. There is the beginning of it. Collard, now he's coming back onto the racetrack, Tim.
Onslow Cole checks up. The Hondas check up behind him, but Onslow Cole has nowhere to go. Look at Gillam, he goes through on the inside. Matt Neal turns in and just touches the front of Jordan, and that sets the two of them off sideways. This is earlier, that was the moment by Newsham going down the Craners. Then Collard gets too close and has a moment himself, runs wide. Now watch as he comes back on. He's right in front of Onslow Cole, still trying to sort it out, and now it's bunching all behind.
Collard was the one who actually got away with it, really, because he's the man in 3rd position. Now, Jason Plato, he started from 17th on the grid, and he has got through to 9th position as Matt Neal's car gets towed away. Hardly any damage on it, but nil point in race 6 of this year's 30-race British Touring Car Championship. He will be ruining the kerfuffle that started 2 corners earlier. Now we're going to have a chance to speak to Andrew Jordan if we've got a minute. Andrew, it's Toby up in the box. Can you hear me? That was just the concertina effect of all concertina effects. How did you view it?
Not really. I think someone ran wide through the old hairpin. And it all backed up a little bit, and I went for a gap, and it all just kicked off up into McLean's, but something feels massively wrong with the rear of my car, so not sure what it's going to be like, if I'm honest.
Okay, well, hopefully you'll get some heat into those tyres. It was a big moment. We'll leave you be. Best of luck, Andrew. That was Jordan's moment.
Yeah, we saw it on board. He actually had the momentum and basically just stuck his nose down inside where there was a gap and his momentum was taking him. I don't think Matt Neal saw him there on the inside, and they just had a tiny touch, and it was enough to fire them both off into that spin. Remember, the tyres on the back of these cars don't do any driving. They're just freewheeling along on the front-wheel drive cars, and that little touch between the two of them was enough to send them off. Well, the team are looking at Andy Neat's car. I mean, that car's been in the concrete wall. I'm absolutely amazed the Triple Eight team are working on that car. Look, they've got all the parts ready there. Well, full credit to Triple Eight for trying to get that car back out, but normally after a car's been in the concrete wall, it's best parked up and checked over.
But if it rains, there might be a chance of still being in the race.
Yeah, but he's lost too many laps now. They can't get the laps back, so it's really just an exercise in showing how good the team are, really, to get that car back out and give Andy a few more laps, because he hasn't had many.
Free testing, though, Tim. You love free testing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there isn't much testing allowed, and it's good to get out. Here's Gillam, a fantastic position for him. He's running in a solid 5th place. He was just about to take 4th, hopefully, and certainly the Team Hard Honda is going the best it's gone so far this year.
So there is Tony Gillam with the number 34. Why number 34? Well, he lives at number 34, and he's still got the number on the side of his car. He loves it. What a great drive that he's having here today. So, Leader Jackson goes through your shot, then Newsham. The back bumper is hanging off Collard's BMW. Lights are out on the safety car, so it'll be in at the end of this lap. Now we're riding on board with Gordon Shedden. We are in 4th position. Gillam behind us. Ironically, Shedden's car of 2011. Then Jeff Smith, the man who started from pole position. Frank Rathel, haven't mentioned him so far in this race. He's in 7th place, right behind Jeff Smith. Then Andrew Jordan, he's in the 2nd blue Honda. And then it's you-know-who, it's Jason Plato.
Yeah, let's watch the restart. Jackson has gone. Jackson's gone already. He's pulled a nice little gap into the chicane. He's not under pressure. That's a really good restart. He was working harder than anybody during that safety car period to keep his tyres up temperature. He's won one race today already, and now he's leading the 3rd.
He had a big slide into Redgate at the very first lap. On the very first corner, he somehow ailed it all together. Will he do the same here? No, it's all nice and neat and tidy. Keep an eye on Jason Plato. There he is with the number 99 MG. Though that is Smith and Rathel and Jordan in front of Plato as they rush down the Craner curves. Oh, Rathel, oh, that's a late lunge. Is he going to hold it onto the island? Yes, he does. The front end sticks on that Toyota.
Yeah, and in fact, it was Jordan that came through as well. I think Smith's got a few problems. Plato's looking up the inside. And Jeff Smith just going backwards at the moment. Maybe some car problems, but certainly anyone passing at the moment. Collard pushing Newsham for 2nd.
Still Matt Jackson leads. Newsham in 2nd. Collard looking for the inside line as he comes on to the back section. That rear bumper will be not doing it in any aerodynamic help whatsoever, but the drive from the rear wheel drive car battling against the front legging Vauxhall seems to work. Collard up to 2nd position. Now then, Jason Plato has come through. He's got a couple of places in the last 2 corners. Let's check him when he comes over the line. He started the lap in 9th position, and he is up into 7th place. He's 4.5 seconds off the lead. Jordan ahead of him.
Yeah, and of course he would have seen that Matt Neal's out of the equation as well. He would have seen him in the gravel. The team would have told him on the radio, so he knows there's points to be gained here.
There is Tom Onslow-Cole cutting past Lee Wood, and Onslow-Cole's back end is still hanging off by a thread. He was the one who went grass tracking at the beginning of that whole melee that caused the safety car to come out. But a safety car, of course, Tim, is exactly what Jason Plato needed to have the leaders get closer to him.
Yeah, brought the traffic back to him. Perfect for him. This is working out very nicely for Jason.
A little bit further back. That is Aaron Smith with Liam Griffin at the rear of the field. They're in 16th and 17th place respectively. Sister car, Matt Jackson, leading the race. And he's leading it by 1.3 seconds as we ride on board with the man in 4th position, Gordon Shedden. Hard on the brakes into the chicane.
Yeah, we'd have thought Gordon might have made a bit of progress. Certainly now's the time when his tyres are really coming into their own, and perhaps the narrower tyres on the Super 2000 cars are actually going off a little. So this could be time for Shedden to push off.
Jason Plato, fastest lap of the race. He's just done it when he crossed the line there. We were riding on board with the man in 4th, and now the man in 3rd position as he rushes down the hill. Oh, but Newsham's not going to give any quarter. Don't touch, guys, don't touch. Keep it clean. Shedden's on the limit. He's on the brakes. A bit of a wiggle and a puff of smoke from the inside rear Dunlop, and he's through.
Yeah, definitely the balance of power is switching now to the NGTC cars. We're getting this fantastic mix of racing now between the 2 types of car as the tyres switch on and switch off at different points in the race. And with Plato setting fastest lap in an NGTC car there, but coming up behind Gillam, and Shedden moving through, clearly that now the NGTC cars are in the ascendancy in this latter part of this race.
Well, Plato's looking to build on the fastest lap that he did when he came across the line last time. There is the battle with Newsham and Tony Gillam. That is for 4th position now. Newsham looks to be in big trouble because he's lost the position of 3rd to Shedden, and he's going to be losing the 4th position to Tony Gillam, who motors past. Great drive, but Newsham's going to be late on the brakes. Surely he's going to cut him back down to Hollywood.
I think that Newsham's got an engine problem of some sorts. He's very slow on the straights. He's been getting progressively slower, and the others are just piling past him. So some problem with the Vector, I think. And Plato's now up behind Gillam, very hard.
Literally across the bonnet of Tony Gillam, Tim.
He's announced his presence in no uncertain terms. I'll be looking for a way. Jason doesn't want to waste any time at all in passing the slow cars. He might go up the inside here. Gillam defends, leaves him no opportunity at all. Plato tries to cut back and use the extra tyre grip through the corner. Gillam's still defending, but this will be an opportunity. Now Gillam's gone in tight. Jason will cut the inside. He'll definitely get up the inside.
And the drive of that MG down the straight, we've seen it already here at Donington. He's got massive pace. Jason looks across to the left-hand side, but he's not running away with it. And Gillam, what drive, but Jason's got the inside line. It's 9/10 of the law.
Yeah, possession is always 11/10 of the law, I always say, actually. And he had possession of the inside line into the chicane there and sets off now after Newsham for 4th place.
So, Jason Plato, 5th position. His dad looks on, chewing the gum. He's going to be running out of that in short order as Jason now starts lap 11 of 19. Still Matt Jackson leads this race, but only by 6/10 ahead of Rob Collard, who is only 6/10 ahead of Gordon Shedden. Here he are leading too. It's the Focus against the BMW, which again drifts down the bottom of the hill. Don't count out Gordon Shedden. They've got rid of those electrical gremlins from Brands Hatch, and he's fired up. And it's the old-fashioned, smiling Gordon Shedden that's returned here today.
Yeah, happy camper now, as is Matt Jackson, who also had a disastrous first meeting at Brands Hatch. But you can see visibly the two Super 2000 cars, the Focus in the lead, and Collard's car definitely sliding around a lot more than the MGTC cars, which look a lot more planted on the road. And, well, Jason Plato said he was going to enjoy this race from the back, and sometimes they are the most enjoyable. You've got nothing to lose at all. You get through the field, you have a safety car to help you as well, and Plato's looking at a really good point haul from this 3rd race.
First, second and third come past our commentary box as quick as we can say it. Why? Well, they're covered by 1 1/3 seconds. There's Plato going through his shot. He's 5th. Then we got Gillam in 6th. There's Frank Rathall. He's in 7th place. Behind Rathall is Jordan. Yes, it is, with his teammate Jeff Smith. Here goes Plato, looking for 4th. And it's Brands Hatch all over again. Newsham has a big wiggle and a wobble in the middle of the crane of curves. He gathers it together, but will he get the momentum through Schwantz? I can't see it.
Oh, look, Plato's all over him. I'm sure there's something afflicting that vector, but Newsham's a hard racer. He's not going to give the inside to Plato here. Plato might get up the inside here, or he might have to wait until they come through Coppice, where we know his car is good.
I take my hat off to Dave Newsham. I thought that he was going to lose the position, but Plato hammering away down this back section. We are on lap 12 of 19. Newsham got his mirrors full of the interesting colour scheme of the MG of Jason Plato, who now tucks it through. He's had troubles on the brakes all weekend, and he hits the red sausage. And he just about gets away with it.
Both of them. He puts his hand up to say thank you, because Newsham didn't defend the inside into the chicane. I think Newsham thought he's going to race his way backwards if he defends, but he's ended up with the others all over the back of him as well. But he certainly left the door open for Plato into the chicane.
Plato's best lap was a couple of laps ago at 1:11 exactly, but on the last lap it was 1.4 seconds slower. The pace might have dropped off just a little. That's why there's this real freight train as Frank Rathall comes easily past Tony Gillam. That manoeuvre always works for Frank Rathall. Twice he's done it.
Yeah, it's a good place to pass, but he's using the strength of the car. The car is better on his tyres. The 2 Pertec cars still side by side. Jeff Smith and Jordan behind. Jordan recovering. Look, 3 Hondas all together there. Oh, they're tapping the back of Gillam's car, and that leads to Jordan closing up the inside of Jeff Smith as they go through Coppice.
Here, though, is the battle for second position. That was Gordon Shedden right on the tail of Rob Collard as we come into the chicane once more. Really, we're riding on board with Sheds. He's in 3rd place, and he's got great drive, Tim.
He's just got great grip. You know, he carried the speed through the direction change, right and left, and he's just got more grip. As I said, the Super 2000 cars struggling with their tyres now, the latter part of the race.
So, Super 2000 cars, 1st and 2nd position. Slightly narrower Dunlops than the slightly wider Dunlops of Gordon Shedden with the NGTC brand new Honda for 2012. That piece of bumper is going to fall off sooner or later, or is it? It'll certainly get into the radiator of Gordon Shedden's car. Big slide again, and Sheds has got great drive, and he's going to power through Schwantz curve. Or is he? Or is he?
He's going to have to work for it. He's going to have to go side by side all the way round to McLean's, which gives him the inside, and he does that nicely.
Up to 2nd position now comes Gordon Shedden, winner of the race, of the second race of the day that we had in the middle of our ITV4 programme here from Donington Park.
And the guy we need to watch is Plato. We're going to have to watch his lap time this lap, because I reckon he's going to be the quickest man on circuit on this lap. He's absolutely flown up to the back of Collard's car, up to fourth. Let's see the lap times they come across this time. Jackson is in the lead. Plato already has the fastest lap on lap 9.
Oh, Rathel, Tim, has a massive moment on the exit of the chicane, and all that hard work has been undone at the top of your shot. Meanwhile, Jason Plato battling to try and get that third. He's gonna get through. He's gonna get through. Here goes the power of that engine, the NGTC car. It's wheel to wheel. It's not a given.
It's not a given at all. They give each other a lot of room. Remember, these two came together in the last race. This time they give each other room. But I go back to my point. Plato was 1.5 seconds faster than the race leader Matt Jackson the last lap.
The tyre conservation of a man who has won 69 British touring car races is coming to the fore. We rode through McLean's there with Rob Collard. Did he have a bit of trouble trying to get the thing into the apex? They had that in race 1 and race 2 earlier today. The tyres had a bit of graining, and it understeers and then all of a sudden oversteers, does it not?
Yeah, just trying to carry the speed through the corner, but he hasn't got enough tyre left at the home. Still Gillam, still fighting here, actually with Jeff Smith now. And this is a really good battle for 6th place.
Over the line we come once more. Matt Jackson's lead. We haven't seen him, but he's still in the lead by 0.8 of a second. I can assure you of that. Will it be another sticker on the side of his car celebrating a victory? He's had one sticker already this season. That was the opening race victory that he had here today. Down the hill they go. Still Jackson from Shedden. Third is Jason Plato. I tell you what, Tim, Jason could do this.
Well, Matt Jackson, you've got to feel for him. He is being hunted down. He's like prey by these two NGTC cars. But will they slow each other up? Because if Shedden puts up a stern defence of Plato, that could give Jackson the breathing room he needs to get it to the end. But there's no doubt both Shedden and Plato are quicker than Jackson at the moment. But will Plato get through quickly? He's got a run coming onto the straight. Shedden's already having to defend.
Jason goes to the inside, does he? He hooks one way, he hooks the other. He opts to go round the outside to get a better exit, surely, through this final chicane. Okay then, 3 more laps remain here at Donington Park. That's just 6 miles. Can Jason Plato win another race in this 2012 season with the brand new MG that was only delivered to the workshop at 888 at the beginning of January?
Yeah, and it's just the help that Matt Jackson needed, because Shedden's had to defend into 2 corners now and slowed himself down, and the lap time's getting much more similar, although Plato's still a second quicker than Jackson on that lap.
Down the gearbox goes Gordon Shedden. He's got a lot of work to do, but the 2 NGTC cars, second and third, the brand new Honda, the brand new MG6. Well, the Civic has got a lot of work to do. The Scot has got an awful lot of work to do. He'll be looking at the mirror much as he will be looking forward through the windscreen. There's no chance of any rain, but it could be raining on his parade. Oh, that's a little bit of a touch. Jason gets surely in a bit of oversteer.
Yeah, he did. Lost some momentum. I mean, the strength of that MG is that Plato could come off the brakes and carry really good corner speed. He tried to do it through copies there, but the car just got away from him a bit. But the car really does work well mid-corner.
I remind you that the championship leader coming into this race, Matt Neal, is out. He is non-scoring here in this final race of 3 here at Donington Park because of an early melee that saw him being pushed into the gravel. 2 more laps remain. Jackson, Shedden, Plato. It's as quick as that. 1 second covering the top 3 with now 4 miles remaining.
Yeah, and the times obviously, as you'd expect, stabilising now as they come together, and Shedden defends. There's no way Plato can use his total outright lap speed at the moment unless he can get past Shedden, and Shedden's no fool. He knows how to drive defensively, and these 2 cars, both similar spec.
Building speed up to McLean. Shedden banks that middle of the road. Oh, a little bit of oversteer was that from Gordon Shedden. Maybe that's another chink in the armour. chink in the armour that the Honda has shown to the MG, and the Focus gets closer. Oh, rallying goes Jason Plato. All four wheels on the dirt.
Yeah, he tried to cut off too much of the corner when he was already too close to the back of Shedden's car to carry the momentum. And look how immediately that gives Jackson a little bit of a breather. One more lap to go. Can he hold on?
This is going to be mental between the Civic and the MG6, but it's the Ford Focus that leads, although that's a reduced lead now. It was 0.6 of a second last time. It's 0.45 of a second with the last lap here at Donington Park underway. Leading 3, Focus, Civic, MG6. It's as quick as that. Matt Jackson is in big tyre trouble, surely. He's not got no drive out of the corner, Tim.
Yeah, he didn't even run wide on the exit because he was worried about them cutting back underneath him. He's driving as wily and as tactically as he can, but of course Plato wants to make sure that he finishes this race and gets maximum points. He knows Neil's off. Oh, Jackson's really driving slowly in the middle of the road now. Can he hold on?
The 30-year-old still leading this race, but can he just hold on? This is going to be an awfully long last half a lap for the Ford Focus driver. Jason got very close here last time. Now he's going to think about getting a better line. Bit of debris goes underneath the cars. That might have distracted them, but as still Plato is pushing the Civic as we come onto the back straight. Foot through the boards, flat shifting up. Oh, it's bump drafting. We're at Charlotte or NASCAR, that's what we are. He pushes Shedden on. Jason goes through. Shedden cuts through the gravel. It's going to be a victory for Matt Jackson. 2 victories at Donington Park in the British Touring Car Championship for 2012. Second is Jason Plato. Gordon Shedden punted to third and fourth over the line. What a fantastic result for Tony Gillam ahead of Collard, Jeff Smith, Andrew Jordan and Frank Rathall in 8th. Dan Welch in 9th and Tom Onslow Cole coming over the line in 10th position. Well, what a last corner.
Well, something was always going to happen, wasn't it? And Plato was pushing Shedden all the way down the straight towards the chicane and just eased him on. Look, this is on board with Shedden. He's been pushed wide, has to go through the gravel. Through goes Plato. It may be deemed that he gained an advantage through unfairly there, and the positions may be reversed, but you can see Plato is just pushing all the way, and really there was nothing Shedden could do to resist that.
I mean, Sheds was on the brakes for as long as possible, and then he just realised, I've got to go through the gravel, by which time the speed had been scrubbed off, and through the kitty litter he went.
Well, we'll have the Bob Kettleborough will be looking at those, but a great race, an absolutely fantastic touring car race. Let's see if we can get hold of Gordon.
Gordon, it's Toby and Tim up in the commentary position. That was a bit of a push into the last corner. How do you feel?
A bit of a push. He's just fired me straight off. He's hitting me all the way down the straight and then didn't brake. It's ridiculous. He needs easily chucked out for that. It's absolutely ridiculous. No excuse for that at all.
Well, views pretty forthright there from Gordon Shedden. I did say when we were commentating it live, it was a bit of a NASCAR job, wasn't it? A bit of bump drafting.
Well, it wasn't bump drafting because that's normally when you're working together. That was bump passing. And, you know, I mean, Jason, well, it's a shame really because Jason had driven a beautiful race up to that point.
Matt Jackson takes his second victory of 2012, and he's the only driver to win more than one race so far this year. He was victorious 1.7 seconds ahead of Jason Plato, who scythed through the field from 17th on the grid. What a result. Shedden fuming in 3rd position, Tony Gillam in 4th, Rob Collard 5th, Jeff Smith and Andrew Jordan, they started on the front row 6th and 7th. Frank Rathall, brilliant passing down the bottom of the hill for the 25-year-old, 8th for him ahead of Dan Welch. Tom Onslow Cole won't be 2 HP with 10th. Lee Wood, Aaron Smith, Nick Foster, Chris James, Liam Griffin. He takes the final point in 15th position, but it's Matt Neal who is non-scoring in this race. He came into it as the championship leader. He takes his first non-score. Jason Plato came to Donington as the championship leader, and he leaves Donington as the championship leader by just 3 points ahead of Matt Jackson. Matt Neal drops to 3rd. Jordan Collard, Shedden finally got some points, decent points on the slate ahead of Smith, Newsham, Onslow Cole and Tony Gillam. Good run by him in that race 6.